I believe that people are drawn to ideas that reflect imagination and vision. So up until recently, the field of health IT has lacked such an idea that reflects imagination and vision, an idea that would unite all stakeholders and attract the brightest minds from a range of disciplines whose ideas and creativity are absolutely essential if we are going to be successful in achieving what, as you'll hear in a moment, we must achieve in this nation. My description of the state of the U.S. healthcare system, it is the Titanic headed directly at the iceberg, and we need to turn to port. We need to turn to port quickly, and we need to figure out how to do that. Enter the learning health system. This figure of a learning health system is not an architecture schematic. It's a vision diagram. But I think it is very useful in portraying what the learning health system is. There are many ways of thinking about the learning health system, and this is only one of them, but it's probably the best place to start. So if you stare at this diagram a bit, you will see that the learning health system is multi-stakeholder. It basically involves all the stakeholders in our health system. It is decentralized, thus the cloud, containing most of the kinds of functionality that a system of this type will have to undertake. It is reciprocal. It is two-way. The stakeholders who participate in this system will put something in, and they will get something out. And the system, in functioning in a decentralized way, will, in order to be successful, need to be governed. It will need to engage and win the trust of the general population, what we call patients, and it will need to be able to undertake sophisticated analyses and disseminate the results of those analyses back to stakeholders who are interested in the results. Another key factor and feature of the learning health system is that it is a single infrastructure platform. You can think of the learning health system as the health infrastructure that the country doesn't yet have, and that this is one platform underlying and supporting a number of these virtuous cycles, each addressing a different problem, which can be ongoing simultaneously at any given time. Think about what might be possible if we have the entire health system wired together so that we can understand in real time what is happening across the system. Learning health system is one infrastructure that supports a number of different activities: research, public health, quality improvement, consumer engagement, all of these things. I have a picture of the Brooklyn Bridge there because it's edifying to remember that when they built the Brooklyn Bridge, they built one bridge to support trolleys, pedestrians, bicycles, and horses and buggies. They didn't build four bridges. They built one for all four. It's very important that when we build the learning health system as a kind of Brooklyn Bridge infrastructure for our healthcare system, we build one bridge to serve all of these purposes. What I want to do now is reassure you that there is a growing movement as this concept of the learning health system is increasingly capturing the imagination of the nation and becoming, in many people's minds, an absolute imperative. We are making progress toward what I'm going to call a first version of the learning health system. The not so good news, which takes me to the second part of my talk, is a belief I also have that this first system is not going to be good enough to turn the Titanic, and that we need to set our sights on a much higher functioning version of the learning health system than what we will get from the evolution of these five factors you see on this slide. A high-functioning learning health system would have to meet four what were termed system-level requirements. It would have to be completely trusted and valued by all stakeholders. It would have to be economically sustainable and self-governing. Several of you out there, I'm sure, were asking yourself as I was talking, and perhaps thinking I was naive, who's going to pay for this? That question is out there, and that question, of course, needs to be addressed. Then there are a number of more technical requirements of a high-functioning learning health system. It needs to be stable, rapidly functioning, certifiable, adaptable, and self-improving. And finally, probably not too surprising from the description I gave before, it's got to work. It's got to be capable of engendering virtuous cycles of health improvement so that things actually get better as a result of the learning health system being in operation. The learning health system, because of the kind of problem it is, makes the irrefutable case for a science of what the report calls cyber-social ecosystems, which will inevitably be a science of learning systems. And this science that we don't have in its entirety right now, we have pieces of it, is a science that will propound fundamental principles to enable design, analysis, construction, as it says here, governance, operation, and evolution of ultra-large-scale systems like the learning health system that deeply integrate information and physical phenomena. I can't emphasize enough that this is mission critical. The cyber-social perspective and the research agenda it generates must drive the achievement of the LHS. I am doubly delighted to have been invited to this meeting because I see such a natural union between the perspectives that are captured by the Hicks system science community as a whole and the problems that need to be solved if we are going to be successful in realizing this learning health system, achieving something that will improve health in this country, turn the Titanic, and solve this grand challenge.